Will the man convicted of planning his wife's brutal murder be able to get off of death row? Today we're learning more about what exactly could come out of Mark Sievers' newly granted evidentiary hearing. Hello, I'm Russ McCaskey.
I'm Amanda Haw. We told you how Sievers is pointing to statements from Jimmy Rogers, who's serving life in prison, that claims Mark Sievers was not involved in the murder or the planning. Wink News reporter Olivia Jean joins us in studio. Olivia, does the attorney who you spoke to believe Sievers has enough to earn a new trial?
Well, this type of hearing is common in death row cases, and in Mark Sievers' case, seen here in his death row mugshot, he hopes it gets him out of his 6x9 cell. The murder of Teresa Sievers rocked her Bonita Springs community in 2015. The mother, wife, and doctor was beat to death in her own home with a hammer. Curtis Wayne Wright on the right and Jimmy Rogers in the middle were arrested in connection to the crime. And soon after, Teresa's husband, Mark Sievers, on the left, was also charged as the mastermind. All three are now doing time with Mark Sievers on death row. It was one of Southwest Florida's most notorious murder cases.
It was one of the few cases where the prosecutor's office sought the death penalty. And you've got a local doctor whose life was cut short.
Sievers has already lost his appeal for a new trial, but is now arguing that there is new evidence that wasn't presented at trial. His attorney did not effectively defend him. He did not get a fair trial, and the fact that Rogers admitted Sievers had no role in his wife's murder. He told Wink News 2.5 years ago it was right.
He then points the hammer at me, and as he points the hammer at me, I put my hands up and I tell him, like, I didn't see. Those are my exact words, like, I didn't see.
So by your account of this story, then, virtually everything that we heard at trial is wrong?
Yes.
A trial attorney who is not involved in this case told me what the hearing will look like.
You'll get a little bit more detail as to what Mr. Sievers is actually claiming. I know he's claiming that there's new evidence and that his attorneys were somewhat deficient in their roles. That'll be fleshed out a little bit more to give the judge some insight as to, is there any merit to these claims? And if so, then the judge has a tough decision to make on whether or not to, grant a new trial.
If Sievers succeeds in obtaining another trial, it could potentially vacate his death sentence. The hearing's date remains unknown, but a status update is scheduled for May 5th this year at 1:30 p.m. We will be there and we'll let you know what happens. Back to you.